do websites like YouTube, do companies like you have the legal authority to just cut access to a user at any moment? Like what happened to us? I don't think that's what happened. I'm not saying that.
I mean, isn't that what Facebook and all kinds of social media platforms do already? They say, you have violated our terms of service. We won't say how. You must leave now.
So then you can still log in. You can still go to Facebook.com. But I'm saying, can they issue a denial? So you can't even go to the website. It just gives you what is it?
And again, some of this is being done at the government's demand. Some of this is government coerced censorship, as we've proven in Missouri v. Biden. And now that we're back at the trial court level, we can use merits discovery to root out that vast censorship enterprise. We need to build a wall of separation between tech and state to protect our First Amendment right to free speech from government censorship. But separate issue is the corporate censorship. And I still think that there are tools at our disposal now, unless and until Congress takes action to amend or repeal Section 230 of the CDA.
But it should be, I don't think it needs to be it could be amended. I don't think it needs to be repealed, or it could simply be ruled on by the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
The issue is not that tech platforms, online web service providers have immunity. The issue is that they also have, Section 230 gives them not just the immunity, but the right to police as they see objectionable.
It's a sword and a shield.
Exactly. And it should be just a shield.
Yep.
You are allowed, the rule should be, you are allowed to only remove through criminal writ of some sort. So if someone posts something that's illegal, you can flag, and a judge can say that's illegal.
Yeah.
I think that's because right now what's happening is, you've got X.com and they're like, we can remove whatever we want and we can't be sued because it's not our speech. So they selectively remove all of the opinions of people who think like there's only two genders. That was actually one of the big things they did. They banned misgendering.
And so, but it's fundamentally reshaping our culture.
Yep.
By filtering the information flow in what has become the public square. And the remedy for disfavored speech in this country has traditionally been counter speech, not censorship, certainly not government censorship.
So here's a funny component of Section 230 as it works under the law. If I make a news website, or if the New York Times created a space on the front page, a small space, and they said any user can write content and submit it, and it may appear in that box. And so let's just say Timcast did it, right? Any user can write whatever they want. You can't sue me for hosting it. And so then one day on the front page, it says Kamala Harris kicked a dog. Big breaking news. And then you look in there, you see the author, you see this news story. It looks completely legitimate. We're NewsGuard certified as a legitimate news source. And then people are like, wow, look at this report. And they say, we're going to sue you for posting it. No. That was user-generated content. We didn't write it. So there's another problem in this, in that the law would also allow, as per Wikipedia, this is the big problem. Here's your avenue for a lawsuit, probably, if you want to approach this. Let's do this. I'm going to pull up Wikipedia, James O'Keefe, and I actually do hope you use this and launch your suit, because we talked about this a few years ago. All right, James O'Keefe, Wikipedia. James Edward O'Keefe III is an American political activist who founded Project Veritas, a far-right activist group that uses deceptively edited videos and information gathering techniques to attack mainstream media organizations and progressive groups. Both O'Keefe and Project Veritas have produced secretly recorded undercover audio and video, encounters in academic, governmental, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it is my understanding James O'Keefe takes issue with this Wikipedia page in that it falsely characterizes and demeans, defames, and libels. The argument that I was told is that you can't sue Wikipedia. Section 230, right? Well, hold your horses. Where on this page does it say it was written by any users? Does it? No. What's the byline? The byline is from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So I've talked to lawyers and I've asked them about this. I said, okay, hold on. On Twitter, if Ian Crossland posts, it says Ian Crossland, and then under it says, I just plain don't like graphene. And then you can't sue Twitter or X now because it's under Ian's name. He said this. My argument is Wikipedia may allow users to write whatever they want. That's on the back end. When you view the source, when you look at the source material of how it's written up and it's got users' names next to it in the history, that's what's protected. So if you click view history on this, these individual posts, this is the Twitter of Wikipedia, the username and the thing they wrote. However, they then, as Wikipedia, an entity themselves, write that the article in aggregate is from them specifically. I believe there's a strong case to sue Wikipedia making that argument.
Yeah, they look like a publisher. I mean, 230 was intended to say that these online social media platforms are not publishers under kind of common law defamation libel. They look more like a publisher when they're claiming ownership over the content there. I agree with that. And to your point, I mean, from a consumer protection angle, it's too hard to understand the label. It's too hard to understand how consumers, the information consumers need to qualify whether or not to believe this is not readily available to us.
Let me add a few more components. Wikipedia has super users. So if you sign up for Wikipedia to edit the article, you can't. People make this argument that on Wikipedia, anybody can sign up and write whatever they want. You literally can't. Wikipedia has editorial guidelines. Only certain sources are allowed to be used, and there are super users who have the authority to lock and boot you from a page. Notably, James O'Keefe is locked out. We need to see Wikipedia sued because they are asserting this. Now, in this instance, James O'Keefe himself would have to sue Wikipedia for defamation and say, this isn't a user-generated page. When users generate content akin to what Twitter is, where you can see the user's name and their arguments and the things they've wrote, that's Twitter. I agree. The revision history of the page is protected, each and every one of these posts. But Wikipedia then allows, under editorial guidelines with editorial super users, to aggregate all of that into a post. So I make this argument. And I don't know if you're an expert on this as a lawyer, but so if I worked at the New York Times and I said, I'm going to create a draft article in the New York Times backend, and I will let anyone write anything they want. However, as a super user, I can selectively edit and remove things that don't follow my rules. Then, once they write a story about Kamala Harris kicking a dog, I say, okay, publish. And it says, Kamala Harris kicked dogs by the New York Times. That is not protected under Section 230, right?
It shouldn't be. Again, the courts have misinterpreted certain provisions within Section 230 of the CDA, and I think that's caused a lot of the problem. But we're seeing states take action too, right? I mean, Texas and Florida both passed laws that ended up at the Supreme Court in the net choice cases. The Supreme Court kind of punted on that, so it remains to be seen how those laws are going to impact the marketplace. But I think everyone recognizes there's a problem in action. And so...
Yeah. Well, here's some defamation. It says Andrew Bailey, politician. You can't stand for that.
Funny. I think at the top where it says from Wikipedia, it should actually say from 7,400 users, and there should be a hyperlink that should take you to them, and it should say super users. It has to.
This article has been edited this many times.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to sue the individual people for defamation, not the website.
This is the problem right now. Is when I asked, okay, on Twitter, on X, if Ian defames me, I can sue Ian, right? Yes, of course. Okay, well, in the history of this, you've got the most ridiculous scenario. How do I sue a guy who wrote one word? So we actually talked about this on the show, and someone built this system where everyone is allowed to submit only one word. You can't sue someone for saying dog. Can you sue a guy who wrote Kamala? No. If I go on Twitter right now and type the word Kamala, you can't sue me. I didn't say anything. What if someone wrote Kamala, the next person wrote Harris, the next person wrote kicks, the next person wrote dog, and then it publishes an article? Who do you sue? That's the problem with Wikipedia. No individual, or I should say there are people who are writing big paragraphs, but some people only add a word. And so someone might write, and here's a question for you. Kamala Harris pets dog. Someone else comes in and changes the word pet to kick. Can you sue someone for writing the word kick?
No, but at that point, you'd have to sue the super user that published the amalgamation, I think.
It's the individual who wrote kick and click publish. Is the argument then, because here's the argument then. Every single user who clicks publish is assigning the entirety of the article to themselves as a user. No. Let's talk about this. Kamala Harris pets a dog. You go in and you change pets to kicks, publish. And you go, I didn't say she kicked a dog. I just wrote the word kick. Someone else wrote Kamala Harris and dog. That wasn't me. So I didn't make the statement. No, what court is going to agree with that?
Right. You'd have to go with the timestamp. You'd see if you actually did put the word kicks in to fill that sentence
out. In which case, you as adding anything to that article and clicking publish, you're not publishing one word. You're publishing the whole article as a statement from yourself as a user. So here's what we need to do. People on the right complain about Wikipedia all the time. launch a series of lawsuits against every single user, citing the entirety of the page. And they'll say, I didn't write anything about a cow kicking a dog. I was writing about her time at university. No, you published the full article, did you not? When you clicked edit, did it show you the entirety of the article with everything in it? And you clicked publish. Therefore, you published the entirety of the statement. I think that's what we need to do. Now, my Wikipedia actually isn't bad. Not like James's. So there's not really much in there for me to complain about. It actually says Tim Pool is considered left and right, and there's nothing in there that's like overtly defamatory.
That would be, the thing is though, if it's a big article with a bunch of false narratives and then you go in and change one of the words to actually something righteous, then they could sue you for all the false narratives in the article.
Yep. And we have to change the system. It makes no sense. So what's happening is the left, predominantly leftist liberal activists, go on Wikipedia and put bunk sources and lie, cheat, and steal all through this stuff, like James O'Keefe. It's just lies. And what's the remedy to correct the defamation? When they go, oh, I only wrote one word. Don't
I look at it as we're talking about a political or a legal remedy, which it should exist and does exist. And also the technical remedy, which I've always sort of advocated, is opening the software code.
It is open source.
Is all the software code free on this thing?
Yes, Wikipedia is completely open source.
Because then someone can spin up a clone of the site, and then, like Wikipedia, and then people will start using Wikipedia because it's less less.
The Wikipedia system is used for everything. Have you ever gone to like Star Trek Wikipedia?
No.
Wikias, they have 50 billion different versions and they're used for specific things. The problem is Wikipedia is the premier principal online encyclopedia that is used by many people as a directory for sources.
Yeah, Google, and we'll put it in search engines and things. It'll have it linked on the side.
Well, thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.